Hello again. We're out here going to test the rain. We had a slight shower here. Wasn't enough to get any rain on my plate that I put out. Very, very minor. But it was enough to wet the cars really good. So I'm going to do another straight test of the windshield here, just to see what could be out there. Okay, we're here once again. I just put this down on the thing. And this is a little bit of rain from the back and side and forward windshields on the car. Let's give it a spot. And I did test the paper towels right before I put them out there. I put them up against the Geiger counter, Geiger Mueller tube, and the background actually went down by about 6 counts, and that was after holding it there about 10 seconds. As we can see, we are right in within background, a little high actually as it starts to climb. 60, 72. I was noticing about 10 minutes ago it was about 60. So, all right, well, let's right away. See if I can zoom in a little bit. I also wanted to do another sample. I took a little container, and I'm getting a little bit of water from my roof on the drainage there. And I'd like to try that as well. Wow, look at that. Just on a quick test, we are getting about 850 counts per minute. Not too scientific because the car probably hasn't been washed in well over a week or two. But this is just the windshields. And I imagine the back windshield was much dirtier than the forward windshield. So I would say this is probably more dramatic than a real count probably is. Alright, it looks like it's settling out about 850. I'm going to quickly, whoa, look at the sound difference as soon as I pull it off of that. Interesting number. Okay, I am going to run a quick 10-minute test. As you can see, 10 minutes. Let's put it on there, and at that same time I am going to go get my paper towel and dip it in this other rain and bring it back in. There was more water in this second sample. Had a little styrofoam top to an ice chest that I put out that I had previously tested to no discernible difference between background and that. Let's See, I've got this other test ready. I'm going to set that over there. Wow, so quickly getting up in over 1100 already. Let's see if I can adjust to see just how much time we have left. 3 minutes. So within that 3 minutes, it might just surpass my highest reading, which was 671.7. Wow. Much lower than the spot check. Spot check leveled out about 850. This shows to be 600 or 6,389. My last test was a bit more. But that's from a short rain shower, very light for a while. Well, for a little while, and then when it started, it was a little bit more than just the right little bit of a, sprinkle. Okay, quickly, I'm going to move over, pull this other one into the field of view. Now this is purely unscientific. This is taken from where the water runs down from my roof. Okay, I'm going to put it down for a spot check. And I'd also like to test a couple other things that ideas that I've been given. Oh. Take it off the 10 minutes. Okay, it's around background. We are seeing something here very interesting. This sample is where some of the water runs off my roof and into a previously tested styrofoam top with a kind of an edge to it, so I could collect a little bit of water in. That tested nothing, no noticeable test from background. This is testing, wow, almost within background. Very interesting. So since the car was considerably dirtier than the last test, I think we picked up road debris that was very hot. Look at that. And that is water, that just a very little bit in the corner of this styrofoam lid that I dipped into and wet the paper towel with. Let's go back to the hot one, and let's do a little test here. Put my spoons down so I don't get my radiation detector in contact with this sample. Right away. Let's fix this because this little paper plate is just caving in on me. There is something here, okay? I'm going to leave it here for a few seconds so we can get a spot test level out. right past 638. That was around what we had on the 10-minute test. See if it tops out at over 800 like the last quick sample did. Okay, well, still climbing. We're above 7. Turn this so you can see this a little better. Looks like it's leveling out. Okay, what we want to know is if this is alpha, beta, what have you. Now that we've got a hot sample, I'm going to pick the radiation detector up, and I'm going to place a piece of paper in between that and the sample and put it back down on it. Obviously, it's bleeding right through the paper. Very interesting. This is just a regular common thickness piece of letter paper, and it looks like it has blocked some of it, but it's still considerably hot. That is a whole sheet of paper between the sample and the Geiger counter, and we are still getting very hot readings. Okay, so the next thing, what we can do is, since we're still over 6, and the other, before the paper it was settling out about 7. Not much of a difference. Maybe about a time or two of what background is normally. This stable as I can. Okay, I think it's dropped at maybe 100 counts just by adding the piece of paper. Let's see what it does. Paper looks to be a little bit wet from the sample. Let's see what aluminum foil does. And I will adjust it. Make sure. Alright folks, I traded a piece of paper for a piece of common thickness tinfoil. You think it's heavy? Yes, it is heavy duty. Regular store brand heavy duty aluminum foil. And that does not seem to stop it. We are getting about what we got from blocking it with the paper. Very interesting. It's been my best test yet. Just for some better ideas here. Ideas being, the aluminum foil and the paper. What we're going to try next is adding the paper and the aluminum foil, because we are getting the same readings as we did with the paper. Sound dropped considerably when I let this filter out a little bit before I put it back on. See if we can get down below 100. I'm going to add the tinfoil first. Well, the paper is wet, so I'm going to put the paper first and then use the same side as tinfoil that was in contact with it. Alright, looks like we're below 100 counts per minute. I am going to put this on, and we can see. I'm going to open it up so I can make sure I'm about in the middle. Whoa, excuse me. Just trying to adjust my camera. We are going to be out of video here soon, so let's get a roughness of what it was, just spot check, and I will run a 10-minute count on it with the tinfoil and the paper underneath, and we can roughly see for now. It looks like we have a drop of a solid third, but still very hot. Alright folks, I'd like you to make your comments as to what this can be, because you obviously see. Let me widen it a bit. We've got one sheet of letter size, regular common bond letter paper, a piece of, well, I would call thin heavy-duty paper, aluminum foil, and we got the sample below, and it's still set up just a little bit from the sample with 2 regular teaspoons that obviously tested no discernible, as well as the paper towels beforehand. And we are still hot. So have we gotten rid of all the alpha, beta? Is this just gamma? I'd really like your opinion, folks. Thank you. Real quick, folks, I just wanted you to see the start of the 10-minute test I'm going to do. My mount is not working with me right now. Alright, quickly. Ten minutes. And we are down on the paper and the tin foil, and reasonably on the center of it. Alright, I will come back to get the very end because I'm about out of tape. Hello folks, I wanted to get the last total on this 10-minute in before I run out of DVD. It's 49.26 with a piece of aluminum and a piece of paper in front, right up on the subject matter. Alright, here we are again. This is just a couple minutes after the 10-minute test we had just completed. And I think we're having a breakthrough. I think we're really having a breakthrough. As you can see, this sample right here is a little over double background, maybe right in within, well, I think that's me with my adjustment. I'm not getting it on the product very well. Okay, as we can see, hopefully see, we're topping out maybe between 80 and 100. This sample was off of a clean plate that tested no discernible difference between background and matte. Very minimal water on it. It lightly dampened, very lightly dampened the paper towel. But what we are doing is we're picking up something, and that something is not near as hot as the one that's in the background right here. This sample over here. So what we have here is we have 3 samples. This one taken from a piece of styrofoam that was cleaned and processed and tested and then laid out early this afternoon, noonish. The test we're taking from right now is from a clean old plastic melamine plate that was washed, tested, and then put out approximately 5 p.m. this afternoon. Okay? And that is testing probably solidly around about 90 counts per minute. I'm going to move that over, take that out of the field of view, and we're going to bring back the hot sample. This sample was testing very hot, and this sample, let's get it without anything on it again. Right away the sound goes up. So obviously there is something there. This sample was taken from a windshield, one side window, and the back window of a white Hyundai that's not used very much. And I think there was a little bit of dust on it from a couple of winds. I think last night we had the very slightest bit of rain. Nothing we could test with, but enough to stick some dust to the windows. So we've had some moisture come down, and this car received it at least last night, I know of. And out of 3 samples, this is the hot one, and this is taken from the car. The slightest little bit of monsoonal moisture that moved in today is not hot today. Measurable above background, yes, but not hot. Look at that. And I would say this is half hour in from first time it was wiped. So right away it's already dropping down. We're seeing, you know, from a spot check at the very first part of this video, we got 800 counts per minute. And now at a spot check now, it looks like to be leveling off about 450. So have we already seen a half-life drop? Something has dropped out of this. Let's put it, once again, we'll do it. We'll start with the paper first. This paper is wet. I am going to go get me another piece of paper that's not wet. Okay, let's put it, Geiger counter right on it. The Geiger, it jumps by half. So we're down at normal background right now, with the paper up against the Geiger Muller tube. I'm going to put the paper down on the sample, and we're going to put the Geiger counter back down on it, get it to where it's stable. Right away, just by the sound, we're seeing considerable change. I think that should be about center. See if I can turn this a little bit. Alright, well with the paper, it looks like we've dropped maybe 100 counts out of it. Alright, well it looks like it's leveling out. We might see 410. Alright, well maybe 415, 420. But really nothing higher than what it is now, I would imagine. Let's try adding the tinfoil to that now. Right away, just approaching it, the sound goes up. So this is telling us that there's some gamma here. Okay, once again, spoons are keeping it just above sample. And we have a piece of regular bond paper, letter size, and we have a piece of tinfoil that says heavy duty, but I don't think so. It's very light for heavy duty. It might even have a millimeter on it. Anyway, it looks like it's cut it by about half. We were topping out maybe about 435, and now we're topping out about, let's let it calm a little bit. I saw 240, but it's falling. Oh, excuse me, folks. Just trying to make sure my camera's stable. All right. Well, through a little bit of experimentation, it looks like we might narrow it down a little bit here. The rain today was not near as hot as I thought, just by trying to cancel out some of the problems with it. So once again, we have a test that has very light rain cover over here, and that wasn't even really enough to dampen the paper towel too much, and that was from really a control source. A plate that was cleaned, tested, and then put out about 5 p.m. today. And over there we have a test from some water. There was a lot enough to make it that I could wring it out almost. And that was a little bit from what I was getting off my roof, a little drizzle that was stored in a little styrofoam end, a little top to an ice chest. And then of course this one, the hot one. This was wiped from windows on a passenger car. And this is the very hot one. Thank you, folks. I really like your comments, knowing that this might be more road debris and ongoing dust that's collecting rather than an actual rain event. Okay? Any comments appreciated. Thank you.